Welcome to Lacerna Geometry Unit 2 review again. This video is going to look at number 6, 7, 11, and 12. And number 6, if you notice that number 6 right next to number 6 is number 9. Very close problem, almost the same. So if you get number 6, then you should be able to do that number 9 to the right of it. And in number 6 it says, if the point negative 2, 4 translates to negative 6, 8, then 9, negative 5 translates to. A couple things we're going to have to do here, because first of all, we're given 2 points. We're trying to figure out what this translation is. What direction is it going? How far is it going? And then we can do that same translation here. Now, one quick algebraic way to do this. You can start with, you can go with the, if you look at just the x's, so the x coordinate, y coordinate, x coordinate, y coordinate. I'm going to go with this second x coordinate, and I'm going to start with that negative 6. I'm going to subtract this one. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the y's. I'm going to go with 8 minus this first y, 4. Subtracting it tells us exactly how far it's going to move. Negative 6, this changes to plus, I get negative 4. A minus 4 is positive 4. So really what this is saying is that this point is moving negative 4 on the x-axis, which is left 4, a positive 4 on the y-axis, which is up 4. So that would be left 4 up. If this was positive, it would go right. If this is negative, it would go down. Now, if that's confusing, if you don't remember how to do that, chances are on your test or your quiz, you're going to have a graph somewhere. Like, for example, this graph here that we worked on, or that you worked on earlier. So if you graph those points, negative 2, 4, negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and by the way, you can do this just on a piece of graph paper too. Negative 6, 8, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, positive 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it goes off just one unit. Then you can just count the spaces. So you can see that we're going from here 1, 2, 3, 4 left, 1, 2, 3, 4 up. 4 left, 4 up. And that's what you're trying to do to this point here for 9, negative 5. Now, to go left from 9, again, you could, if you had the room in the graph, you could graph it and then just go left, just count left 4 and up 4. I can also take 9 and do this to it. I can do 9 minus 4, and then I can take this y coordinate, negative 5 plus 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. Right off the bat, oh, there's a 5. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. So my actual answer is going to be C. And notice again, there's a couple ways to do that. You could plot those points like I did earlier, count those spaces, or you can subtract, and then more algebraic ways, however you want to do it. Again, number 9 to the right, this one here is pretty much the same thing. Number 7 deals with complementary angles. Number 7, angle A and angle B are complementary. If the measure of angle A equals x minus 8 degrees, and the measure of angle B equals 3x plus 14 degrees, find the measure of angle A. Notice they didn't say find x, they said find the measure of the angles. The answer, like these, has to be in degrees. Now, complementary, remember, that's the big key word here. Complementary means that they have a sum of 90 degrees. Supplementary is when they were 180. Here they're complementary, so we're using 90. So I have to take this first angle, x minus, or angle A, x minus 8. I have to add angle B, 3x plus 14, and put it equal to 90. I combine my terms, and this is a very common algebraic mistake. A lot of people want to do, oh, I have to do the opposite. It's minus x, minus x. But remember, when they're all on the same side together, we're just combining. I'm taking this x and this 3x, I'm putting those together. I'm combining them to get 4x. I'm taking this minus 8 and this plus 14, I'm combining those together. That gives me positive 6 equals 9, or equals 90 course. Then I'm going to take this 6, now that I've got it here, subtract 6 from both sides, I get 4x equals 84. Divide by 4, and I get x equals 21. Now notice that 21 is not one of our answers. But remember, the second part, the first thing I circled is complementary. The last thing, find the measure of angle A. That means, again, it has to be in degrees, which is not this. This is just a solution for x. So I take this 21, I go to angle A, I plug it into this x, so that becomes 21 minus 8. Subtract 8, I get 13. There's my answer A. There's my number 7. Now number 10 doesn't look exactly the same, but it is a very similar concept. So that number 7, that work should help you on number 10. Now the other two I'm going over in this problem, numbers 11 and 12. Now for number 11. Triangle FGH is rotated 90 degrees clockwise about the point negative 2, 0. This is the thing that's going to be different about this. Big keyword, rotated. Second part, 90 degrees clockwise. About the point negative 2, 0. Find the new coordinates. I'm going back to my trusty tracing paper. As soon as I find one that I can use, I'll go ahead and use this one. And I'm going to trace first triangle FGH. So I've got, there's G, there's H. This point here is a F. And what you're probably used to is most rotations, a lot of rotations go around the origin. Where if I was using the tracing paper, I would take this, I would draw a little plus sign kind of at the origin and move around that point. But again, that's why I pointed this out. It says clockwise about the point negative 2, 0. So I have to graph this point first. Negative 2, 0 is left to, there's the point I'm tracing around, or I'm rotating around. So I'm going to go back to where I have my triangle traced. Now instead of putting a plus at the origin, now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing this little plus sign right here. That's where my 90 degrees has to happen. Going clockwise, again, clockwise is this direction. I'm going to go clockwise, and I'll land right there. So there's my 90 degree clockwise rotation about that point. And I'm going to, it doesn't say to draw it, but I'm going to go ahead and draw it anyway because it's going to be easier to see that way. Looks like right one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So H prime, G prime all the way out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There's G prime. I'm going to connect these. So I have my nice, beautiful rotation drawn. F prime is now down 1 unit on the y-axis, so that's 0, negative 1. G prime is right 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2, positive 4, positive 2. And H prime is right 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 1, positive 4. Number 13, very much like that, a different point to rotate around, but number 13, you're going doing that same concept. Trace again, cross or plus sign around that point you're tracing around, and then go around that point. Last one in this video, number 12. When triangle ABC is rotated 180 degrees about the point, 2, 2, the vertex B prime would be. So I'm going to go again like I did before. I'm going to circle rotated 180 degrees about the point, 2, 2. And the vertex. Now here's what's really important is that notice that they're not, the last problem asks about all 3 points. It asks us where to find the new coordinates, and you have to list all 3 of them. Now we're only looking for point B. So when I rotate, if I'm going to use the tracing paper, I don't have to trace that entire triangle. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to graph this point 2, 2. So I'm going to go right 2, up 2. Notice, oh, it's kind of right on the triangle. It kind of looks a little weird. It is right on the triangle, so I'm going to rotate around that. But I'm just going to rotate this corner point B. Now I'm not going to draw the triangle because the only answer they're looking for is B prime. So here is B. That's the original spot for B. That's the point I'm rotating around. It's right there. 180 degrees around that point would be 90 there. And then 180 would be, oh, notice what happens. So this is kind of interesting, isn't it? It's landing right exactly on A. So if you're going to graph it, it's just going to match right up with A. There's B prime. And it said the the vertex B prime would be, I'm going to go ahead and list the coordinates here for B prime. Right 1, up 2, positive 1, positive 2. There is your rotation for number 12.